have a local team here in Kenya. So we were lucky that throughout the last 3 years, we were able to also implement physical activities on the ground in Kenya. For example, through our Zero Plastic Waste Cities program, where we have supported zero waste initiatives in Nairobi, Mombasa, especially working with youth and CBOs on helping to transform their ideas into social business plans. We also have a regional incubator program across East Africa. It's called Grow Up, in which we are supporting social business entrepreneurs that are tackling specific environmental issues. In the last 3 years, we had entrepreneurs working around solutions in the field of waste management, sustainable food systems, ecotourism, and e-mobility. In fact, tomorrow Professor Yunus and the Yunus family is visiting one of the social businesses we supported in the Grow Up Incubator that is offering an e-mobility solution here in Nairobi. They're called Jua bikes, and they're transforming traditional, like regular bikes into e-bikes that are being used for delivery services to reduce carbon emissions in the city. And thanks to all of these initiatives, we were able to also bring in new partners. One of them is here, it's GIZ, with whom in the last 2 years we have implemented a program that is called Circular Rise, where we do not only work with social businesses who are already working in the circular economy, but we help social businesses across any sectors to become more circular. Because in the end, what you need is that everyone, all of us, we incorporate those principles and help in the transition of our economy to a circular one. And then the last program I would like to mention is the She Academy, where we collaborate also with GIZ and with Absa Bank Kenya on training women entrepreneurs, female founders of MSMEs, who are becoming climate change champions in their communities. And we actually have a big graduation event tomorrow, where we are celebrating 500 of these women. And thank you. And one aspect that I would like to mention is that next to the support that our experts and external experts that we bring in for these programs provide to the participants is the community support, the peer-to-peer exchange. And we see a lot of amazing collaboration that is happening amongst the entrepreneurs. So for example, one of the She Stars from the She Academy is using Jua bikes as a e-mobility delivery service for the last mile production of her products. And also within the Circular Rise program, we have actually a lot of them happening, and you will have more of that in the panel later on. For example, Padma, who is here with us today, she is producing reusable sanitary pad cans. So it's already an amazing circular solution, but now thanks to the Circular Rise program, she is using the textile cut-offs from another social business for the production of these pads. So these are some of the amazing stories, success stories that are coming out of these programs, and that we want to foster and see more, because in the end, all of us, we need to work together to achieve a world of 3 zeros, of zero net carbon emissions, and the green transition of our economy. So I would also like to express my gratitude to our partners, to the Yunus family, helping us to bring these programs alive, and hand over the floor now to our regional program manager, who is Bramwell Omondi, who will introduce the panelists and lead us through the next session. And applause for Bramwell, who has been integral of implementing these programs here in the region.
So the first panel brought forth ecosystem players in the Yunus family and social business. This panel will bring now the social business themselves, and you'll hear from them what they're doing, their impact towards zero net carbon emission and green transition. So the first panelist is Dennis Kariuki. Dennis Kariuki is the founder of Krios Holding Limited, a circular economy enabler, driving behavior change through gamification in optimization of water and energy consumption. Please clap for Dennis Karaoke. Second one, and you'll realize that women will be more in the stage. We will also give you a statistical evidence why women are more in stage. And this is because working with the social business, we realize women-led organizations and our social businesses are quite actively involved in social and environmental impact solutions. And in our program, Circularize, we had 56% were women-led, women-owned businesses. So the second one is Jacinta from Zuri Initiative, Senior Manager Zuri Initiative. Jacinta leads the field operations. She will tell us more about Zuri Initiative and as we continue. Then the third one is Madhvi. You have heard her name here. Madhvi Dalal. She's the founder of Padmad, a social business that works to eradicate period poverty by providing reusable sanitary pads to underprivileged community. And then Yunus Environment Hub did not do this or cannot do this alone. As Christina said, we work in cooperation. So the next panelist is Thomas Yaske. I think I said the name well, Thomas. Sorry. And Thomas is technology issues. So Thomas is the team leader of employment and skills for development in Africa, E4D, in GIZ. Yeah. Thomas is agricultural economist with knowledge and experience in private sector and rural development, employment promotion, and management of natural resources and climate and environmental protection. So let's just start and go straight to the questions because I know you guys are waiting to hear their stories. So I'll start with our social businesses. So Dennis, what is Krios Holding and how is the intervention of Yunus Environment Hub through the E4D program supported you in your work?
Thank you, Bramwell, for that introduction and the opportunity to speak in front of this great audience. As a small entrepreneur, I'm highly grateful for some of the programs that Yunus Environment Hub has been running. I'm glad also to meet the wider extended family of the Yunus Hub. I didn't know there were that many. I'm looking at the names here. I can see there's a great relationship. So Krios, we are a circular economy enabler, whereby we help homeowners, organizations, and communities reduce their energy consumption and water consumption through our human-centered and cost-effective optimization services. So basically, we identify areas of energy waste in your environment, in your business, recommend ways on how to reduce them, and help you implement, track the savings that we had promised you. So over time, we realized that there is a gap, that not everybody understands what's this energy optimization. Here in Kenya, for example, when the bills go up, the first thing that comes to mind is, where can I get solar? But I'm here telling people that that's not the only technology that exists. That the greatest asset to your lower energy consumption is how you use the energy yourself. So we are tackling behavior change. You as a human being, you're the greatest asset towards energy consumption reduction in your area of business or in your area of living. So we developed a game, considering that the material behind energy consumption is a bit too technical. We wanted it to start from the youngest person. Somebody as young as 9 years old can understand the impact of leaving a switch on to the economic household, to the economy of the household, to the greater environment. So we made a game in the form of a board. It's a board game, just like Snakes and Ladders. It's very simple. such that you're able to learn tips on how to save energy at your place of work or your place of living. So if it's at school, if it's a kid, when they're at school, they know how to conserve energy and water resources. If it's at home, the same thing happens. So we employed gamification techniques to actually teach and create awareness towards this so that we can create that behavior change from a very tender age. So as we proceeded with the development of the game, we realized that there's a demography that we were missing from. And this is a demography of older teenagers, young adults at the university level who have access to smartphones. People who are just entering the employment market, they're just getting their first salary. All of a sudden, the parent is not supporting their bills in the hostels. So the moment they are slapped with an electricity or a water bill at the end of the month, they're like, hey, adulting is a scam. That's not what we were promised when we were kids. So we through the UNUS Environment Hub, we taught about circular economy techniques, and that's how we're able now to transition our board game to a digital version, whereby there are more users of smartphones, and this way they're able to gain access to the game, play it, learn tips on how to conserve energy and some of the behaviors that they do to waste their energy and water consumption, and actually take action that is actually rewardable on the application. So we are leveraging it on the circularity of the digital transition, that is from the board game to the mobile application. And then you'll be able to leverage on the aspect of social media, such that I can compare what I'm using in my house versus what Jacinta is using in her house. And if I'm doing better, she can always ask, hey, what's it that you're doing better? Or if she's doing better, I can tell her, I can ask her, what is this that you're doing better? So with that, we are creating a community of change at a very individualized level, whereby we're not telling you that you have to go for the most glorified technology, which is renewable technology, but you yourself, how do you use the already existing energy consuming appliances you have in your house, be it electricity or any other form of energy, be it charcoal or LPG gas. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Jacinta, Zuri Initiative.
Myself, I'm also excited and happy to be here, and also we are really grateful and to be part of the UNUS Environmental Hub BBB program. So the Zuri Initiative is a hybrid social business that combines business and social capital credit. Our business is we manufacture and retail hair care product, affordable and nature derived, and we use women from underserved communities as our sales agent. And social capital credit is a community transformative currency that we use in communities, especially to tackle issues like social goods, environmental issues, and also economic factors that affect underserved communities. And as part of BBB, then because our targeted market is the larger mass market, and mainly our products would be in plastic bottles, single use, and we acknowledge and recognize the kind of waste we produce. So through being in this program, we'll be able to start envisioning on how we can transform our products through different upstream and downstream innovative model, like transforming our shampoo, the liquid shampoo and conditioner, into bar soaps and packaging them eco-friendly, and then also using refillable method and refillable packaging that we can always collect and reuse for B2B businesses, and also at the same time teaching our participants and the communities they are coming in how to handle and how to proper separate and segregate waste, because they are the majority, the people at the bottom of the pyramid are the majority consumers of the single-use plastic and the small sachets and all that. So we have different projects that we use through our innovative model that we call the social capital credits.
Thank you very much, Jacinta. Madhvi, you are working, while producing reusable sanitary pads, you are working to empower marginal members of the community. So how is Padma doing this, and what are the products of Padma?
Yeah, so thank you again for the platform. Thank you for Professor Yunus. I was not born an entrepreneur, I was made one thanks to having met you before. So I'm Madhvi, the founder of PadMad. We, with period poverty in Kenya, we're based here. And since many years of being here, and I'm actually a pharmacist by profession, but now I'm the entrepreneur working with marginalized women and some men. So the problem is that 65% of the men, the women and girls in Kenya cannot afford sanitary pads or cannot access them. They also, 1 in 10 girls go into some kind of transactional sex for pads, and also there's a huge environmental impact. One disposable pad takes 500 to 800 years to decompose. And altogether, girls are missing school. Quarter of the curriculum is missed through secondary school. So what we decided to do is come into a solution which can help or combat as much as we can. So we have 3 pillars which we work with. We provide an education program for girls and boys in communities to talk about menstrual hygiene, infections, sexual and reproductive health and rights. And then we also have an empowerment program where we have 33 green jobs since actually we joined Yunus Environment Hub. We actually created many more jobs for women who are HIV positive, teen mums. We have a factory in the prison. We have a factory outside the prison for incarcerated women. And thirdly, we work with the environment. So we produce 100% biodegradable products which are sourced from Kenya.
Thank you very much, Madhvi. Thomas, for Yunus organization or the Yunus Environment Hub and other Yunus family organization, cooperation between German Development Corporation, GIZ, representing the Federal Republic of Germany, and the East African entrepreneurship ecosystem, how far has this cooperation supported the social entrepreneurship as per today, for example?
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the Yunus family for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. Also, thanks to the Tangaza University for hosting and inviting, and congratulations to all the social entrepreneurs. German cooperation in general has enhanced the commitment towards green and just transition. And also one of the pillars of the new development policy is the feminist development policy. So the women economic empowerment being one of the main pillars for development. What the way German cooperation is able to work is working on different levels. On the one side, of course, doing policy advice and working with the government, but also in the last years enhancing the partnerships and the cooperation with the private sector. And a third element of German cooperation is the promotion of cooperation systems. So this the 3 levels of cooperation for German international cooperation. Breaking this down to what we do in Kenya, for example, it translates into the partnership, for example, the partnerships that we have in the project that I lead. It's called Employment and Skills for Development in Africa, E4D. It's a regional project that is implemented in 5 countries. So apart from Kenya, also in Uganda, I was already networking here with the colleagues from Uganda and with Daniel, but also in South Africa, Mozambique, and Tanzania. And we, in the current phase, we have enhanced substantially our cooperations and partnerships with green economy stakeholders. So currently, out of the 20 partnerships that we have, 12 are with organizations and private companies in the green sector, so renewable energies, waste management, circular economy, a collection of natural products. And with that, along with these partnerships, we have already created almost 2,500 jobs through capacity development measures and also enhance the capacities of around 9,500 MSMEs in the green sector.
Thank you very much. Madhvi, back to you. Recently, you have just signed a new contract with a textile company. Will you mind, if you don't mind, explaining to the public what is your relationship as a social business with such a big textile company?
So I'll have to say thank you again for the Yunus family for calling me to Turin to present. So when I was presenting at the Turin Social Business Summit, the head of whoever we sourced fabric from was watching. And during the summit, I was rolling out facts and figures of the impact that PADMAD has had, which is, 55 million disposable pads being prevented from the landfill, over 800,000 emissions being prevented, and 2 million girls now of days which are not missed going to school. So when I came back, he said, okay, so what is this, what you really do? And with that, and with Yunus Environment Hub, the circularity, we actually managed to salvage. Because they were working the export zone, they couldn't really get the material back into the country. So we came into a conversation saying that we can use this material and it will help us to make biodegradable packaging. Not only that, he actually pledged 600 very, very good machines to be put in hubs to house incarcerated women. So that happened very, very quickly, and it's all thanks to these conversations about circularity. And in fact, they are very big corporate organizations. They're actually looking into how they can also become carbon or help carbon footprint.
Thank you very much, Madhvi, and that's quite a success story, bearing in mind that these 600 machines will be used in our prisons, right, to support our women in prison to also better their lives. For Zuri, Jacinta and Dennis, why do you think you as social business entrepreneurs and others are best fitted to lead the world in achieving this zero net carbon emission?
For me, I say for Zuri, because our main target is the mass market, where majority of the population falls, and we relate to the communities we work with, to the women we work with, and we know their pain points. So it's easy for us to tailor-make our own product, to tailor-make our own social interventions that we take to the communities. We can easily speak to them, and I feel like we can tell the impact from, let's say, the 55 participants I have in Kibera, from when we started and the improvement I'm seeing now. We have an ongoing waste management project that we do with these women. So we teach them household, for each woman represents their household. So we know at least 55 households now, they know how to separate waste. They know the impact of just dumping waste anyhow. They know the impact of single-use plastic, because when they bring their weekly waste, we make them count how many single wrappers they have. So when we started, the woman would come with 55 packets of milk, Tetra Packs, and I don't know, soap, 80 you find from one household. But now it's getting less and less. So us being grassroots business, social businesses, it's easy for us to influence the world of three zeros in communities.
Thank you. Dennis, do you want to add something?
Yeah, maybe I can add, due to the fact that the biggest contributor of climate change effects has always been the production and usage of energy. So even as I hear my colleagues here speaking about the great impact they are making about the industries that they serve, they still need energy to contribute to the impact that they are making. So for us, we feel like we are in the bullseye of how we can tackle reach the goals of net zero carbon emissions through the reduction or the optimization of energy use. I would say the fact that Kenya is a signatory to the Paris Agreement, our company is perfectly aligned to this goal. I remember a conversation I think we had in March online with the East Africa Impact Days, and there's something Professor Yunus was explaining about the 3 zeros as we were having that conversation. And he said that if the 3-0 model is broken down to the basic unit, whereby you even have a 3-0 family, not only just a 3-0 club in a huge institution like Tangaza College, but a 3-0 family where it's a mother, a father, and their kids, the impact would be immense. And I'll give an example of one family that was able to use our gamification tool. This was during the COVID, just the post-COVID pandemic around 2021. So as they were playing the game, they learned some tips about water conservation. Like there's a technology that reduces the amount of water you use at the point of use. And they were really shocked about that. They've said they've never heard of that technology. They always thought that a tap is a tap. So I gave them an example. I told them, why don't you use these taps? Because we stock those water efficiency equipment. And they were able to use it, and they were able to see the reduction in water consumption in real time, such that the bill in that particular month came lower than the previous bill. Another instance was with a university student. They told me, I would like to test your game out. So one of the game nights, they are playing the board game, and they were like, I did not know that some of this equipment in my house use the most energy. I live in a hostel, it's just one room and my washroom. How do you think I can reduce my energy consumption there? And then I just give them a query, I just give them a device to go and measure each equipment. And they're able to know exactly which equipment consumed the most water. And they realized it was the water kettle. And they're like, when I only have a water kettle, how do I conserve energy with a water kettle? I need my water hot. I told them, buy a thermos, a vacuum flask. Whenever you heat your water, put it back in the thermos, it will stay hotter for longer. You won't have to switch on your kettle now on and off every other time. And they're like, I have a thermos I've never used. So they had the resource, but they weren't able to see how it works. Because how we've grown up as Africans, we know thermos is for serving tea when guests come, so that it can always remain hot.
Thank you very much. Thomas, as representing the development cooperation stakeholders, what are some of your recommendations or advice to entrepreneurs or social entrepreneurs in the house in terms of green transition? Because I know social entrepreneurs in the house are really eager to see or to hear, not only from the likes of Yunus Environment Hub or Yunus Family who are directly working with them, but what are expectations from development cooperation sectors?
One point I would like to underline is still the project Employment and Skills for Development program that now is moving into a new phase, and we are now changing even the name, so it's Women Employment for the Green Transition in Africa. So it's also now this phase that it's starting, and we hope to have more of these partnerships. Will indeed exclusively look into green sectors and focus very much on women empowerment and green gender transformation. So that's one point. Regarding recommendations, so maybe not recommendations only for the entrepreneurs, but I would have one important point, which is for all of us to think on partnerships that engage several stakeholders of different sectors and with different profiles. So it's not about only partnering green organizations or non-green sectors. It's about developing partnerships with stakeholders that provide different support, banking institutions, research institutions, private sector, government, to really promote the green transformation and social businesses. So I think that's something that is important. So multi-stakeholder partnerships and bigger partnerships to create impact. A second aspect I would like to highlight is for all of us to continue working and enhance the cooperation with the private sector. So it's about business as well, and the private sector is the motor of innovations and transformation. So for us as developing cooperation organizations, it's key to work with the private sector. And again, I would like to enhance the aspect of green business, that green business is also a business, and I think that's an important aspect for Kenyan entrepreneurs. And maybe the last aspect is skills promotion. I think, well, we are today in a university, so for us it's very important to promote education, to promote skills. It can be on the university level, it can be in TVET institutions, it can be through civil society and private sector initiatives. But the key of creating employment is really matching the demands from the private sector with the offer, the supply that can be provided through skills development. And here I would like to enhance the aspect of women, so looking very much into bringing women to the level of skills development that men already have. So I would say that those would be my recommendations, I guess not only for the entrepreneurs, but for all of us.
Thank you very much, Thomas, for that. Before we finalize the panel, what are some of the challenges you as social business entrepreneurs are facing, and what are some of your call for action to the stakeholders in the room? Madhvi, start from you.
Yeah, so for us, we feel that I think that the narrative really needs to change in terms of funding. For us who are on the grassroots, we've innovated and trying to bring a solution of the things which need change. So we're not looking at it just from the top, although many of us have to work at policy level, but we're actually finding something which is working. So I think funders need to see that, and especially for social change, to recognize there's also an enterprise element to it, so to help bottlenecks, to bring in sensitization through marketing and strategies. I think funders really need to recognize that this is where the real work is done and where the change is actually happening.
Thank you. Jacinta?
Also, I'd like to underline what Madhvi just said, to just underline and bold it very, very well, because funding is the core of us taking our vision into the grassroots. But then again, also I'd like to call for lobby for favorable mechanism, especially for social businesses like us that are in manufacturing, especially for us looking now to alternative to what is being recommended as eco-friendly and all that, because we need the mass market to afford the eco-friendly and alternative products that are there. But then if we are to bring the eco-friendly and alternative product, the price of it goes up, then the entire mass market cannot afford.
Thank you. Dennis, what is your advice to fellow entrepreneurs as they start or continue with their social entrepreneurship as we finalize?
My advice would be just start. Wherever you are, just start from there. There are a lot of problems wherever you are. You might feel like there's no problem that you need to solve, but if you look at how history has brought us to this particular point, there was a speaker in the previous panel who said that how they came into the journey of entrepreneurship was through an accident, and how they felt like what would be their contribution to this world. So for you, I think that is the most important question you need to ask for yourself, so that you can be able to understand how do I start my social business. Right now, we are moving away from the linear form of business. We're going back to the circular form of business, whereby nothing goes to waste. You use everything. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And as Yunus Environment Hub, a member of the family of Yunus organizations, we will continue supporting entrepreneurs, social business entrepreneur, and that is our contribution to the world, right? We'll continue doing that, and we'll continue supporting in many ways. So I want to call all of us here that if you have time, go to our website, check our programs, our calls for application for the next program, especially for entrepreneurs who are interested in capacity building, incubation, and acceleration. And let's work together for a world of 3.0. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless the work of your hands.